This classic whistle-stop presentation is brought to you by Out West. Love the West? So do we. Click the icon or go to scvoutwest.com.
Our first scheduled stop on this run is Perris, California, and we visit one of the greatest operating trolley museums in the world that could use our help, the Orange Empire Railway. The Orange Empire Railway Museum. This is not just a stationary display museum. Most of the museum's trolley and railway equipment is operable and available for your pleasure to ride and experience what it felt like in the days gone by when they were in regular service. The Santa Fe Railway Station at Perris, California, was built in 1892 by the Southern California Railway. This historic card was originally published for the Perris Pharmacy and was hand-tinted and manufactured in Germany, where most such cards were made at that time. The historic depot is now owned by the Orange Empire Railway Museum. It was recently commemorated as an historic monument and was marked by the native daughters of the Golden West. There is something going on every weekend at this museum. Equipment restoration, track construction, work on the line wires, buildings, beautification of the grounds. They can also use your help on the cars or in the stores. There are jobs ranging from heavy labor to clerical for all ages. The jobs include car maintenance, track, overhead, electrical, operating motor vehicles, or conductor. The museum is supported by its volunteer members. Every activity of the museum, whether operating a streetcar, restoring the equipment, sorting library material, constructing the physical plant, or managing the organization, is done by a volunteer. The financial support of the museum comes from the private sector. The primary support comes from membership dues and donations made by members and friends of the museum. A donation of either money or material is tax deductible, as the Orange Empire is recognized by federal and state income tax agencies as a nonprofit educational organization. The museum is partway through the process of developing a master plan for its 58 acres and more than 130 pieces of rail equipment. Among the plans are storage buildings for all the cars, an exhibit hall, an archive library, and a restoration shop. These facilities will be constructed as funding becomes available. A museum volunteer does not get paid in money. There is the satisfaction of seeing the goals of the museum being fulfilled. A summer evening of trolley operation and monthly movie nights are some of the benefits and pleasures. Many long-term friendships have developed at this museum. Some of the equipment you can ride is the Catalina Special, a Pacific Electric Big Red car. Number 498 is one of the many Pacific Electric cars at the museum. It was built in 1912 for use on Southern Pacific's electric suburban lines in the Oakland, Alameda, Berkeley areas and came to Southern California's Pacific Electric during World War II. It ran as part of many trains to the Catalina Terminal at Wilmington in the Long Beach area and was purchased by the museum after it was retired in 1959. It is outfitted with local and national billboard advertising from its heyday. Volunteers enjoy giving visitors a brief history of the equipment.
They operated in the Bay Area up until about 1938, at which time they were retired in preference of a little bit more modern equipment. However, Pacific Electric in the 1940s were handling such huge crowds of people from LA to Long Beach, Wilmington, San Pedro, Santa Ana Air Base, all the military installations, that they had to have bigger equipment. So they shipped all these cars down to San Francisco until 1951. Incidentally, the Long Beach line was
Next is a Presidential Conference Commission Streamliner. Streetcars like this have served cities such as San Francisco, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Boston, Newark, Cleveland, Toronto, and El Paso. Some are still in use. New Jersey Transit's Newark City Subway celebrated its 50th year of operation in 1985, and their cars were recently repainted. This car was built by the St. Louis Car Company in the early 1940s, retired in 1963, and it is now at the Orange Empire Trolley Museum with its original San Francisco Muni livery, ready to take on riders of all ages. Number 1160 was one of the 16 Type F streetcars created in Los Angeles Railway's South Park shops in 1923 by splicing a new 3-foot middle into turn-of-the-century 35-foot-long cars. Number 1160 was purchased for preservation in 1953. Long before the BART system was built, these unique articulated cars were operated by the key system across the Bay Bridge in the 1950s. The museum's volunteers are currently refurbishing this one. Here's a picture taken in Oakland, 1954, of a key system tandem bound for San Francisco. This car is one of the first all-steel trolleys used in the Los Angeles system. Occupying a suitable place of prominence on the Orange Empire line is the steam locomotive Ventura County Railway Number 2, under refurbishment. This loco was built as number 107 for the Cascade Timber Company at Reliance, Washington in May 1922. As a logger, she probably burned wood as well as the coal she was designed for. The Cascade Timber operations ended in 1942. The Naval Construction Battalion, better known as the Seabees at the supply base at Fort Hueneme, California, needed additional locomotives. Renumbered to number 2, the small 262 logger was ideal, and along with 2 other Ventura County engines served impressively, helping to move the war supplies needed for construction activities in the Pacific. After the war, the locomotive was in need of an overhaul. So in 1947, she was sent north to Southern Pacific's Bayshore shops near San Francisco, extensively rebuilt, emerging as she now appears at the museum. To maintain the museum and restore the equipment cost both time and money. To restore a streetcar to operating condition takes over 3 years when working weekends and thousands of dollars. A new set of doors for a streetcar can cost $1,000 for material alone. The paint costs $600 for each car. Add to this the cost of replacing other wood, metal, and rubber in the car. A planned car barn to hold 20 cars is expected to cost $80,000. To build and equip the car restoration shop may very well run to $250,000. The museum operates on a most limited financial basis. Sources of specialized materials or labor at donated or reduced prices help further their efforts. The Orange Empire Railway Museum was incorporated in 1956 as a California nonprofit corporation. The museum has been determined by the Internal Revenue Service and the California Franchise Tax Board to be a charitable organization which is not a private foundation. Gifts to the museum qualify for the maximum charitable deduction under the federal and California income tax laws. Donors should consult their own tax advisors regarding the deductibility of their contributions. If you have experience or proficiency in these skills, carpentry, painting, electrician, lineman, typing, retail sales, or public relations, please contact the Orange Empire Railway Museum. They can use your help.
Shop, look, and listen right here at WhistleStopUSATV.com.